Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
There's an air of nostalgia in the air, isn't there, Wendy?
Absolutely. 1945, here we come.
Wendy joining us today with who we've seen before, we've had before, and in transitory ways, one or the other. And Mr. Eric. Eric, who are you with?
Hey there, I'm here with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. I'm the orchestra's music director, so we're looking forward to this show coming up soon.
You hit me as somebody that wasn't alive when Glenn Miller was in his peak. Now, that's just my guess. I could be wrong. You could be a vampire. Yeah, I don't know, right?
I hope I'm not that pale yet.
No.
Yeah, you're right. The band has kind of an interesting story. It's been touring almost nonstop ever since Glenn Miller started his band in 1938. So it rotates musicians in and out, and the band's kept going ever since.
Now, Wendy, we're going to have an interesting singer. And now let's mark the date here real quick. And I'm trying to see if it's hard for me to see on my screen. March the 2nd, Thursday, March the 2nd, Thursday, March the 2nd. Who's going to be singing? Who's Old Blue Eyes going to be this time?
Well, he's actually going to be Old Blue Eyes. Derek Evilsizer is our Frank Sinatra tribute artist. He also performs with Glenn Miller up in Colorado at several events, the 1940s events up there. And he did visit us last year here in the village and made our first impression that was outstanding. And this year he's coming back. He's going to MC the event. He's going to kick it off with a few Frank Sinatra songs. And then while the Glenn Miller band or orchestra is taking their break, he'll play some more, and then he'll wrap the event up for us at the very end as well. So he'll be there the whole time. Yeah, kind of leading the show. Sounds
like a lot of fun. And we're going to raise funds for what? What's the purpose?
Rotary, Hot Springs Village Rotary. Their tie to World War II is just really, really goes deep. And so I can share some of the details with you later, but it just seemed to fit perfectly with this organization and this era.
Well, so I'm going to warm up Eric for just a minute and say, what's it like to be a music director? But come back and tell us. I love the history behind the Rotary too. If you've got that and want to share it, I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, I do. But let's visit with Eric while we can.
Okay, Eric, you're next.
All right. Yeah, well, to answer your question, what it's like being the music director, it's great that we have a great group of musicians right now in the band. And I played with this group for just over 5 years. I joined in the spring of 2017, June 2017. And I began just playing tenor sax with the group. And then slowly, eventually, I started singing with the group. And I've been music director ever since summer of 2021. So just about a year and a half of doing that, coming back after the pandemic, and it's been great. The band's getting rolling again after the pandemic with a lot of shows this year and last year. So it's all exciting.
So now you're based out of the Denver, Colorado area, or where you at?
Actually, I'm based out of upstate New York, Western New York, but everyone from the band is in a totally different part of the country. And when it's time for a tour, we all fly into a certain airport, and the tour bus meets us there. And we hop on the bus, and we're on it for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, and we just keep going along that way. So it is the same group of musicians at every show. It's not like a regional band or a local band. It is the Glenn Miller Orchestra, same musicians playing the same music from the 30s and 40s.
Sounds awesome. It really does. And now in our minds, we would have a stereotype, and that is, well, it's the gray hairs that come listen or whatever. Tell me who the audience is.
Yeah, there's really a big variety. Of course, we have like some older fans, occasionally folks that actually grew up listening to this music in that era, but oftentimes we'll have folks that say their parents listened to the music and they grew up hearing it in the household. And I think more recently, in the last few decades, there's been quite a swing dance revival and even like vintage revival. So we have a lot of younger fans at these events and these shows as well. You mentioned some of the things up in Colorado, and events like this typically draw a huge range and a really wide range of folks. So we just find that a lot of people know the music and a lot of people like it.
Well, what kind of songs are we going to hear? Obviously, big band, but I mean, is it only songs that the Glenn Miller Orchestra would have done, or is it just from that era?
Yeah, there's a bit of variety too. It's mostly Glenn Miller's music, and he has so much music. There's a lot to get through. So for folks coming to see the show, what they can expect is to hear, maybe the Glenn's 10 biggest hits. For people that want to hear Moonlight Serenade or In the Mood or Chattanooga Choo Choo, we play all those at every show. And then the rest of the set list, we kind of rotate maybe some of Glenn's lesser known music, or maybe music from other artists of the big band era. So there's a pretty good variety. But of course, if you're coming to hear the big hits, you'll hear those too.
Yeah. So Wendy, do you have any Rotary information yet, or I can come back to you if I need to?
I've had it. I just thought, I know Eric is limited on his time that he can spend with us, so I wanted to give him the due. And then you see that handsome fella in that gray suit right there in that picture. That's Mr. Eric right there. He's got who is your beautiful counterpart that does some of the female parts, the voice?
Yeah, her name is Jenny Swoish. She's originally from California, from the Los Angeles area, but has spent years now in Nashville. And she's been singing with the band straight through for about the last year and a half since I stepped in as music director. And Jenny is just the best. She is an awesome singer and really embodies like the style of that particular time period. So Jenny is awesome and a great singer.
Well,
she really is awesome. Again,
yeah. And just a quick question: does everybody in the band have a hard to pronounce last name? I'm just curious. I mean,
I would say just about half of us.
Really? So Eric, pronounce your last name for us, if you would.
Stabnow, Eric Stabnow.
And her name was
Jenny Swoish.
Well, of course. I mean, these are Smith and Jones. I knew that. I knew that, right, Wendy? Yeah.
Right.
If I were to buy tickets, I would go to, and this is my simple version, hsvticketsales.com. Yep. Did I say hsvticketsales, plural.com, which will take me to Hot Springs Village Thunderticks.com. And we can buy tickets there?
Yes. Yep. They're $50 a piece. We have table seating, and there's 10 per table. There will be no food served. The Coronado Center allows you to bring plates and stuff in, but also Clampett's food truck will be available out back for people who want snacks, because it is going to be a little bit of a long event. The doors will open at 5 o'clock. We've got our very own HSV beboppers that will give us instruction on the Lindy Hop from 5:15 to 6 p.m. And then about 6 o'clock, Derek's going to kick off the show. Derek will kick off the show as Frank Sinatra, get kind of the everybody introduced, our sponsors thanked, and then start some performances. And then the Glenn Miller band or orchestra. Sorry about that, Eric. I keep calling you the band. The Glenn Miller Orchestra will start performing at 6:30. And they've got a 2-hour time frame that they'll be performing. But with the Rotary, some of the history we'll share the night of, from during World War II, as the war erupted, we lost over 484 clubs and 16,000 Rotary members. They were just wiped off the rolls from the war. And we were one of 42 organizations, international peace organizations, that were chosen to convene in 1945 in San Francisco. And we consulted with the 50 nations that came together to form the United Nations. And from there, the Rotary wrote a paper called From Here On that was promoting international peace. And so that's kind of where we get our name for the Victory Day dance from, is that 1945 From Here On, so that we can highlight Rotary and their involvement in the peace efforts of World War II. It was so bad. The Rotary records were seized by the Gestapo. Rotarians were imprisoned, and in Warsaw, 12 members of the local Rotary clubs were taken from a meeting and executed outdoors. It was a big deal. Hitler hated, and the Gestapo, and they just hated the international peace efforts that Rotary offered. And you've been a longtime Rotarian, Dennis, haven't you?
I have. Yes, I have. And it's a wonderful service here in the village. And I think service above self is a motto that wouldn't kill any of us, if you know what I mean, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Well, Eric, I want to come back to you just for a second. And I know we have a limited time, so I want to be considerate. I've had some music experience. Don't need to talk anything about that, but I'll tell you, I used to walk into a group and go, wow, this is a good group, or these are talented people. When a professional, not myself, but when a professional like yourself comes in and goes, man, all these people are fantastic. Is it not interesting and wonderful to be pleased by their talent every day?
It really is. Yeah. It's great performing with this group. And the Glenn Miller Orchestra is unique because I mentioned it's the same group of musicians every single show playing together. So first off, this music is a bit more rare nowadays than it would have been decades and decades ago. So it's unusual to have a band like this playing this much. And it kind of gives us a unique opportunity to really learn to play together as individuals and as a group. So hearing a band like this is just kind of a unique thing, and especially a group that's so tight and plays together so much.
Yeah. Wendy, I tell you what, we're going to try and have this show out for our people on probably put this out on February 28th, and I will do my very best. I think I can squeeze this in on the HSV Radio, HSV Inside Out radio edition, the 25th and 26th, so we can get some extra traction there. But the bottom line is we need to go to HSV ticket sales. It's $50 per person. It starts at 5 o'clock. The doors open at 5. Eric's going to be teaching the Lindy Hop at 5:15 to 6. That's what I heard. And Wendy will be his co-teacher is what I'm hearing. Wendy/Lindy will be doing the Lindy Hop at 5:15 to 6.
Yeah.
And then the performances starting with Derek will be at 6 p.m. also. This sounds like a whole lot of fun. And heck, Clampett's food truck's worth the price of admission. That's great too, right?
Well, yeah, they're amazing. Their barbecue is fantastic for sure. We're asking everybody, period dress is not required, but it's definitely encouraged. We're asking the ladies to put on the red lipstick and, because that was something that Hitler hated. It was a sign of patriotism and a statement against fascism. And so we wear our red lipstick and come out with our victory rolls and put our dresses on and have a fantastic evening dancing around and celebrating in the music of the era. It ought to be amazing.
And here I thought he just had a problem with red. I didn't. Who knew? Right? Eric, thanks for joining us today. Makeup in general, probably. Yeah. Eric, thanks for joining us. We're excited to see you in March the 2nd. And Wendy, thanks for being with us again, and thanks for being a sponsor.
Oh, thank you, Dennis. This is near and dear to my heart, and I'm excited about it. So,
and it shows.
Let's sell some tickets. We only have about 100 left to sell. So,
really, the answer is Dennis and Diane ought to go get theirs now. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes, absolutely. Please,
HSV ticket sales. Okay,
yeah.
See y'all soon.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.